But I mean, you did Crazy Rich Asians pretty quickly, right? Like,
I mean, no.
Was your eye
Crazy Rich Asians was like my first job. So I was a journalist.
What the fuck?
Yeah, so I was a travel host for probably like 8 years or something. So I did investigatory sort of travel stories around the world. You have this what's that Don dude?
Donnie does.
Donnie does. So I watched a few of his shows, and like the guy lived in like the deep boonies of China and like speaks Mandarin and stuff. Like I love that stuff. So that's my world. And then Crazy Rich Asians came around. They couldn't find a guy to fill the shoes of this really sort of like necessary linchpin of the story. This random sort of accountant in the company was like, oh, I met this guy like 5 years ago. His name's Henry Golding. That's the character. That's who you need to find. So the director literally went on this fucking like YouTube, Facebook hunt, tracked me down, and was like, you need to audition for me because like we think this is the role for you. And I was like, nah. Like, not into it. Like, I was just like, not for me. Not for me.
Massive successful book and movie.
Treat him mean, keep him keen. But then he was like, you're a fucking idiot. Like, put yourself on tape. And we managed, we figured it out. And long story short, like it started like an insane career for me.
Thank
so,
God, man. And
I'm really thankful for it.
There's a sequel, right?
I hope so.
Right? I mean, the end of that was very like...
At some stage.
Yeah.
Because there's like 2 and 3... There's 3 books, essentially.
Right? Yeah.
So, but they got to get the script right. Because now you have the first one to compare to. Yeah. So it's just... crap. Like it has to be good.
And it was such a success.
It was it was so much fun. It hit
you know?
the zeitgeist. Like,
Grandmas,
grandpas.
Twice.
There you go.
I cried 3 times both times.
Nah.
Cried both times.
Bless you. He's a sensitive dude.
Super sensitive.
Just underneath that rugged shell, you just sort of like crack out the handkerchief once in a while. I like it.
I think the last 2 movies I saw in theaters twice were Fast 9 and Crazy Rich Asians. So same kind of thing.
Okay, yeah, perfect. Absolutely, yeah, same vein.
Were you? We were reading that you were going to be a hairstylist.
I was a hairstylist.
You were a hair, but
I've lived a lot of lives.
Yeah,
like in a short time.
Were we correct in reading that you dropped out of school to go into?
Yeah, well, I up until in the UK, you leave school after your GCSE. So that's what is that? Yeah, I was like 17.
Okay.
And then you're meant to go to college. I'm not sure what it is for you guys, but 17, I went straight into like an apprenticeship to become a hairstylist because I loved it. Because I worked in
cutting men's or women's hair or both.
Well, women's hair mainly, but I worked in a barber shop on Saturdays when I was like 14, 15 years old, just like sweeping up hair, just like pocket money. Just because I was like, I don't want to take money from my parents anymore. I just like earn my like pocket money or whatever it is. So I started working really early, and then I was like, oh, maybe I'll follow through with a career. And then left school, went into this apprenticeship, like washed greasy hair for like a year and a half, 2 years, became a stylist, worked in this like super posh area of London. And up until I was like 22, I think 22 was doing that. And then I flew to Malaysia to become a television host.
It's like, and then I became a superstar. That is wild, man.
Now I'm at Barstool and I made it.
This is the moment, man. This is the moment, yeah. You got a great head of hair, so I mean, I'd be like, I would trust
thanks,
you.
man.
I would let you cut my hair if we had scissors.
You need a fucking haircut.
If we get some scissors, will you cut his hair right?
Let's go.
You want the good news or the bad news? Well, you want the good news or the bad news?
I always go good news first.
All right, the good news is when we started this shit, only 10% of people watching our YouTube videos were subscribed. And now it's up to 40%. So that's almost like a 50-50 split. That's a 30% increase. A little math for you. That's the good news.
Too much math for me, but it's good news.
You know what the bad news is? That still means 60% of you motherfuckers aren't subscribed. It still means the majority.
It's good thing I asked first, because that would have been backwards.
That'd have been terrible, yeah. Man, if I was like, well, the good news is...
It's good thing I fucking go good news first.
60% still just freeloading off of our videos. And guess what? It's YouTube. You're all freeloading. It's none of it really... The only cost is to push the fucking button.
Just push it. Push the button.
Push it. Push it real good.
Push it real good!